principal, AP Math colleagues, current student representatives of B&H High School. Welcome to iPad Tablet Innovation and Diffusion Information session. At the end of the presentation, the audience will have research-based data to guide the decision on the adoption of iPad tablets as instructional tools in the mathematics classroom to boost students' understanding, increase performance in math, and reduce their performance gap. Introduction. B&H High School faces academic performance problems at the state level where students are failing region exam and local level with reduced graduation rate and low grades on the school report card like a C last year compared to the previous years with grade A. So, the statistics reveal that the 11% of students are passing their region with 65% and above, which is really low. Therefore, the Board of Education and the administrators are worried, and the B&H administrator decided to use a new technology and innovation that will enable students to understand mathematics and perform better in their exams. Tablet technology stems from the need of a technology for representation, communication, planning, and coordination in businesses and governments to bridge the gap between desktop and laptop and between laptops and mobile phones for anywhere and anytime productivity and provide suitable computing system for information system technologies. The augmented connections to markets and organizations permits training and learning using virtualization and hosting technologies. The user-friendly and portable nature of tablets encourage users to purchase applications to ensure and enhance user quality and experience. Publishers seek to produce high-quality reading content in formats that appeal to traditional advertisers. In addition, Bring Your Own Device program allows employees to bring their personal device to workplace, contribute to the diffusion of tablets. Moreover, the push for product diversification and gain for market share of companies such as Samsung, Motorola, and other Android tablet makers continue to increase the diffusion of tablets as each company strives to perfect its competitive advantage. Apple with its iPad tablet increases its market share to rank almost neck to neck with Samsung. Tablets are the new way of interacting with anything and unlocking data and accessing function in every environment. The use of iPad as instructional tools in B&H math classroom could increase student performance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the modern learning environment which, due to the advanced technology of the millennium era, is global, mobile, flexible, networked, virtual, interconnected, better looking, smarter, more collaborative, and intuitive than the traditional education system. In this presentation, I will go through the need that gives rise to the innovation of iPad tablets, the research problem, products development, commercialization, innovation, decision, S-curve, attribute of innovation, organizational intervention, which are the intended and unintended consequences of innovation, and dial the applications as we motivate the laggard, that is the role of the social agent, to see the real benefits in educational system of using iPad. The need, the bridge between iPhone and laptop. The need to bridge the gap between laptops and iPhones gave birth to iPads. The iPad tablet became a second source of renaissance for Apple. Steve Jobs, a keynote speaker, advertiser, and a marketer, was able to convince the manufacturers and gain worldwide market with advanced technologies in iPhones, iPod, and iPads, which enabled Apple to gain its market share. During the iPad introduction, Steve updated the App Store, which provided mostly free apps, through iTunes, which runs on both Apple and Windows-based operating systems. Using the company's website for posting key points of this message, Steve Jobs reaches out a global audience. There is a need to think differently. Here is the bridge in visual representation. The need with root problem for the rise of tablet, iPad, and the website. These are research, they are not just advertisements. Research organization and Apple Incorporated company. The key speaker and the key innovator, the Apple co-founder, was a thinker, Steve Jobs, who introduced iPad in 2010, only to die a year later. The development and problem. At the beginning, there was overheating problem as well as low battery and weak Wi-Fi. However, the product later on was innovated and minimized the existing problem. The product innovation timeline. The iPad tablet became a second source of renaissance for Apple. Jobs, the keynote speaker, advertiser, and marketer, was able to convince the manufacturers, as we spoke before. From the development phase, Apple encountered problems which were ratified. Here is our product. The largest retailer in the US market later on hope to sell the iPad by the end of 2010. In commercialization, we have the packaging, and anyone who owns iPad will testify that Apple has a sense of packaging, marketing, and distribution. Apple adopts a push-pull marketing strategy of iPads to enable the company to lead over Samsung, Motorola, Toshiba, Lenovo, and Acer. The iPad has set the standards for the other devices which the competitors manufacture, according to Fredet 2012, Graziano 2012, who provided data for the market share of the various competitors. For commercialization, Apple used creative conferences, invitation cards that make customers excited about the product that will present in the conference. The second step is the conferences. The conferences make the product touch people's feeling by using emotional phrases for every feature of the product and link it to people's everyday use. The third step is after the conference, which the advertisements had also touched the people's senses with impressive show of the product, features, and special music that makes the consumer focus on that advertisement. Commercialization continue. The product in Shenzhen, China at Foxconn, 30,000 employees. And with the US retail stores, distribution other country will come 3 to 4 months later, and with reduction in price due to the innovative process of Apple. The tablet operating system market share forecast. Apple in 2012 was forecasted to have 53.80%, which is almost 54%, and almost 50% market share in 2016, with a variance of 21% approximately in CAGR. The Apple distribution retailer. In US, the retail channel generates more revenue per square foot than any other retailer in the United States. For instance, December 2011 and August, between December 2011 and August 2012, the Consumer Intelligence Research Partners surveyed 1,227 US consumers who purchased an iPhone, iPad, or iMac, and found that while Apple stores sold far the most Mac and iPads during the period, 40% of the iPad purchased by the survey sample during 2011, December 2011, and August 2012. The distribution by outlet, the statistics speak for themselves. You have 40% for Apple alone, Best Buy 26%, where Amazon 30%, Walmart 9%, and others. Now we reach at innovation decision process. iPad innovation timeline. April 2010, iPad was introduced. By the end of 2010, December, 15 million iPads were sold. By 2012, 58.31 million iPads were sold. You can have those information from the website listed. The diffusion process. The intended audience was almost every sector of the economy. Your public space, government, hotel, golf, offices, residential apartments, schools, hospitals, community service, transportation and logistics, public service connect, safety and security, virtual concierge, building automation, control system, home bundle, education, integrated operating centers. That's how huge Apple went. Timeline. As we said, iPad 1 was introduced in 2010, iPad 2 followed in March 2011, iPad 3 October 2012, and iPad 4 September 2013. Communication channels. Knowledge, persuasion, and decision. 3 steps. For the knowledge, we have the characteristic of decision-making unit, which is top-down, upper to middle class, socioeconomic characteristic, personality, variable, communication face-to-face, meetings, telephones, memos, email, web conferences. For the persuasion, there are perceived characteristics of innovation. Apple has a relative advantage with its great compatibility for users, increased observability, business classroom, individual lives, triability of iPad, spur the need to own one and increase the market share as well as the diffusion process. And then the next one is the decision making. Now we look at the S curve. Early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggard constitutes the characteristics of the S curve, just like the product cycle. The early adopters are really based on innovators, educational technology teachers, computer science teachers, some administrators and students, some other teachers, Apple brand users, and some household individuals. The early late majority include other businesses organizations, other brand customers, other students, household teachers, and pilot schools. The laggard and other administrators, other teachers with lack of technology skill. And mainly the education system belong to the laggard. The perceived attribute of innovation, critical mass, and change agent. How do we reach critical mass? The change agent must be innovators and early adopters. Example, AP Math, math teachers and students, and then iPad users. Those change agents must use some method to be able to reach the mass. The first one is triability, and then followed by observability with the iPad users. The change agent has a role to diagnose the existing performance problem, use that performance gap to develop a need for change, commit to that change, and establish network information exchange. How do the change agent motivate laggard? The other administrators and teachers with no technology skill we saw a while ago who characterize the laggard. To motivate the laggard, the change agent must use perceived attribute of innovation, relative advantage, economic feasibility of iPad, its sustainability, upkeep and maintenance, inspiration of revolutionary creativity, appropriate apps, void of virus, and teacher and student access. Motivating the laggard continue. You see the touch in what the social change agent must be able to be practical enough to prove, as we demonstrate right now. Very soon we're going to have a forum here with practice, and you will see how those things got to play. The iPad exploits multi-touch gesture and offers many apps. Motivating the laggard continue. The iPad tablet is designed to put the internet into the hands of the public. It is designed for using fingers on touch screen rather than with physical keyboard and mouse as with PCs. And this is one contributing factor to what will likely prove to be a revolution in education. Students only need to carry and to bring to class their iPad, on which has been installed all the e-text they need for all their subjects. There is no need to carry any heavy load, heavy book. Publishers can now create hybridized content that draws from audio, video, and television to provide interactive graphics in digital publications, whereas traditional paper layout in books, magazines, and newspapers are static. The e-text can and should readily link to diverse multimedia, digital resources, and telecommunication services. Storage software, Scrivener, and Pages now allow conversion of a file to EPUB by simply selecting it from the choice of export format. The iPad is likely to make the EPUB format the lingua franca of electronic books. Motivating the laggard continue using the relative advantage. iPad supports student network and online collaboration with both in class and off class. iPad provides FaceTime for communications, telecommunication integrated with multimedia capability. within and outside class, local and international. iPad applications are cheap, costless, not cheap, but costless. So in principle, cost could be absorbed by the educational institution. A new version of Apple productivity software suite iWork, designed specifically for the iPad, include keynote presentation slide, numbers spreadsheet, and pages word processing. The iWork for iPad suite take advantage of the iPad's multi-touch input. So slide in keynote, columns in numbers, and text and graphics in pages can be rearranged by tapping and dragging a finger. On a screen, keyboard appear when text needs to be typed. iPad, iPhone apps are somewhat sandboxed from one another, so data from one application isn't generally available to other applications. Application storage can be overwritten by another application. This is not commercial. iPad in the classroom, we go to those websites that are listed here and we'll see the many apps that the Pioneer School were using. For instance, look at this graphic here. This is a calculus envelope that iPad was able to pull out. Integration. Look at the screen. In science, in geography, social studies, name it, iPad is in every Pioneer's classroom now. These are some of the Pioneer schools that were listed here: Burlington High School, Greene County High School, Ohio State University, Science Leadership Academy, Northwest Kansas Technical, Panahum, and other schools, even in China. But Mifflin Harcourt, an educational publishing company, for instance, has developed a digital app that replaces the print textbook for 8th grade Algebra 1 through the touchscreen interface iPad device. More than 400 California 8th grade students are receiving instruction strictly via an iPad loaded with the Algebra app, that is Butler 2010. The same Butler 2010. This app creates an interactive learning environment where a student can, with the touch of a finger, receive instant feedback on practice questions, write and save notes, receive guided practice instruction, utilize video reteaching, access graphing calculators, and more. Teachers in tertiary education need new strategies to communicate with students of the next generation and shape enticing educational experience for them. The Apple iPad has the potential to change this situation, offering access to effective and efficient pedagogy in easy and intuitive way, according to Manugera and Peck Talk 2011. iPad is being used in higher education, according to Kinash et al. 2011, an Australian investigation to evaluate the impact on learning of students' use of mobile devices such as the iPad found that feedback from students was positive and optimistic. Hall and Smith 2011 described an iPad initiative in a U.S. graduate management program and noted that student convenience and flexibility were enhanced along with aspects of environmental sustainability. Jalali and colleagues 2011 reported on the use of an iPad in carrying out a multiple choice examination in anatomy at a Canadian university, while all participants liked the idea and it saves significant paper resources. Now, the social change agent could use centralized and decentralized approaches. Centralized approach, I will start with math department as a pioneer, and then decentralized approach in other departments as English and art, music. How do we reach the critical, how do we meet the critical mass? Only when many individuals adopt innovation, according to Rogers 2003. So I will provide incentive presenting the relative advantage, triability, and observability to those people who are lagging behind in adopting the diffusion. In conclusion, educators need to be innovators. Thank you. Now it is a time for question and answer.